Hello, thanks for being here. My greetings to all. This is Tushar Jain from Wisdom Public School, Jain, and so today I am going to explain the French Revolution in a very short way. So here we go. The French Revolution, as we know, is considered as one of the most important revolutions held in the entire world. This is because it gave the ideas of liberty, freedom, equality, or various democratic principles to the entire world. The story began somehow like this. There was a king named Louis XVI. He married Austrian Princess Marie Antoinette at the age of 20. On his ascending to the throne, he found his treasury to be empty. The various reasons were long years of wars had drained their financial resources. They also had 13 American colonies to win their independence over British rule, and so on. So, to overcome this pressure, what he did? He divided the French society into three estates. Basically, the clergy, nobility, and the third estate, which comprised of the commoner or the poor people. The burden of financing the state was at all pressurized to the third estate. They needed to pay two types of taxes. The first was tithe, a tax levied by church comprising 1/3 of the agricultural produce, and the second was taille. It included various direct and indirect taxes paid directly to the state. Now, as the population was rising from 23 million in 1715 to 28 million in 1789, the demands of the production were also rising. But yes, the production were less. This led to a situation where the basic means of livelihood of people were endangered. Now emerges a middle group of people. What they believe? They believe that no group of people in society should be privileged by birth. They also believe that a person's social position must depend upon his merit. These ideas were spread due to various revolutionary books such as The Spirit of Laws, The Social Contract, etc. They mainly spread it in the public areas. Now, in the old regime in the French society, to pass any law, there was a voting or meeting of the Estates General. It was a meeting of the three estates. So this time, the meeting of Estates General was held on 5th May 1789 to increase the taxes. So there was a voting. Earlier, voting in Estates General was held as one estate, one vote. But now, the third estate demanded that each person must have each vote, and that one vote must have one value. But the king rejected this proposal. On this rejection, the members of the third estate, they assembled on the court of Versailles on 20 June 1789 and declared themselves as the National Assembly. They saw themselves as the spokesmen of the people of France. They also declared that they promised that they won't disperse till they had drafted a constitution which would limit the powers of the monarch. After this, there were also many revolts. On one such day, when a group of people were busy buying breads in the shop, a rumor spread that the king had ordered the troops to move into the city and open fire upon the citizens. The crowd, getting panic-stricken, in search of arms and ammunition, stormed the fortress prison of Bastille. Now, looking at the situation, the king also accorded that a new constitution needs to be made. So, in 1791, a constitution was finally made. This granted that all men above 25 years of age who paid 3 days of a labor's wage were given the right to vote. It began with a declaration of rights of men and citizens, which said that all men are equal. Now, though the constitution was made, but the king still tried to regain his power. So for that, he came into secret negotiations with the king of Prussia and Austria for an attack on the National Party. But before this could happen, the National Assembly got the news about this, and they in turn attacked on the Prussia and Austria. Now, in the entire French society, there was demand for political equality, for which various political clubs were formed. One among this was the Jacobin Club. They were also known as sans-culottes, which means those without knee breeches. It was ruled by Maximilien Robespierre. So they also massacred they massacred the king's guard and attacked on the palaces of Tuileries and held the king as hostage. And on 21st September 1792, France was declared as Republic. On 21st January 1793, the king was also finally guillotined. He was tried for the charges of treason and he was guillotined. Now, though the country was made a republic, but yes, there was need of a ruler. So the country was first ruled by Maximilian Robespierre for the year 1793 to 1794. But you know this year was also known as Reign of Terror. Why? Because he followed the policy of severe control and punishment. According to this, all those whom he saw as enemy of the republic were guillotined. So due to his harsh laws, even his own people were against him, and so he himself was guillotined on July 1794. So now comes to rule for a wealthier middle class people. These were known as directorate. It made up to an executive of 5 members. But this, due to its political instability, couldn't rule more. But now finally comes the Napoleon Bonaparte, who ruled the country. It was a military dictatorship. He was finally defeated in 1815 at the Battle of Waterloo. So this was all about the French Revolution. Thank you.